Ever heard silence scream? Not the city kind, real, bone-deep silence that hums louder than your own pulse. That's what I bought. 30 acres of Nevada foothills, way off-grid, where the wind talks and the pine limbs creak, and for a second, you might believe the world can still make sense. I thought I was buying peace. Turns out I was buying a war. Name's Evan Randall, ex-Marine, 42, stubborn as an old dog, now making a living as a security consultant, mostly staring at spreadsheets in airports. Until I got smart and decided to put roots somewhere that wouldn't try to rip em up every 2 years. I spent forever looking for the right land. Had to be unincorporated, outside city reach, especially no HOAs. Had a run-in with 1 year's back, let's just say. Their little legal games cost, and more than a new pool. I wasn't about to let that happen again. So when I found this patch outside Red Hills Valley, fenced, unincorporated, mineral and water rights locked up tight, no HOA overlay, I snapped it up. Triple-checked the county records, recorded the deed, even put it all under my LLC. Built solar backup, set up a diesel generator, satellite internet, perimeter fencing, visible cameras, and the kind you only spot if I want you to. That's just how I'm wired. First week? Bliss. Woke early, cleared brush, checked irrigation, drank coffee with the coyotes and jackrabbits, exactly what I'd paid for. And then on day 8, trouble pulled up to my gate with a fresh coat of lipstick and a clipboard. 3 of them, woman in a cherry red vest, 2 guys with matching fake grins and clipboards. She stepped up first, hand out like she was running for mayor. Good morning. I'm Karen Welsh, president of the Red Hills Preserve Homeowners Association. We'd like to welcome you to the community. I didn't take her hand. Not part of your community, I said. Her smile twitched but didn't break. Practiced, you know. Technically, your property borders the preserve, and we see the valley as part of our stewardship. Her clipboard guy piped up. We offer a voluntary protection plan, road maintenance, event coordination, Karen cut him off, and standards enforcement. Things like fencing aesthetics, noise ordinances, fire safety, visual harmony. Visual harmony, now that's a good one. I actually laughed. She handed me a folder, glossy photos of houses that looked like the world's saddest summer camp, bylaws printed in Comic Sans, and a page labeled approved trim colors. There was even a color wheel, peach fuzz, sage taupe. I handed it back. No thanks. My land's not HOA. I've got the original subdivision maps and the deed to prove it. That smile of hers started to crack. Mr. Randall, we're offering you a chance to integrate smoothly. If you decline, you'll still be expected to maintain minimum standards to avoid conflict. Clipboard guy added, it's easier to work with us. I said, this isn't a negotiation. My property was federal patent land, no annexation, no HOA overlay. Not interested in your suggestions, your guidelines, or your fees. I've got a trench to dig. Karen's eyes went blade cold. We'll see how long that attitude lasts. They left, one muttered, just wait. I watched them drive off in a white Tahoe with an HOA logo, 2 hills, and the most self-satisfied looking oak tree you've ever seen. Back inside, I logged everything, time, faces, their spiel, even snapped their license plate. Protocol, right? Didn't take long for the gloves to come off. 2 days later, I'm finishing the south fence, and a black and white county SUV crawls up my road. No lights, no sirens. Out steps the sheriff, Greg Welsh. Yeah, Karen's husband, if you hadn't guessed. Older, thick jaw, mirrored glasses, stomach built on a lifetime of pancakes. Rookie deputy in tow. I kept my gate closed. Can I help you? Greg doesn't answer right away. He waves a folded piece of paper. Got a report of unpermitted construction. We're gonna need to inspect. You got a warrant? I ask. Routine check. Don't make this difficult, son. I'm not your son, I tell him, and I don't do routine without paperwork. You're on my private road, outside my fence. That's trespassing unless you got a judge behind you. He's getting mad. You building something back there? Code violation, fire risk, environmental hazard? Everything's permitted, up to code and county approved, I say. So unless you got an inspection order, this is over. He steps closer, drops his voice. You think you're special, hiding behind your gadgets and deeds. In this valley, we keep order. We, as in you and your wife. Karen send you out here to finish her pitch with a badge. His jaw twitches. Watch your mouth. You watch your authority, I shoot back. You came here without a warrant. Now you're threatening me. Rookie deputy's shifting, looking anywhere but at me. Greg smacks his palm on the gate. This is obstruction. Don't let us in, I'll bring you in for resisting. That's when I pulled my phone and started recording. Say that again for the camera. For devices, by the way. You're threatening unlawful arrest on private land. That's a civil rights violation. Greg sneers, but now he's thinking. Rookie finally tugs his sleeve. Sheriff, maybe check with dispatch? You've been asked to leave, I say. Come back without legal authority, I'll file. And this time, I won't be the only one. Greg stands there, breathing like a bull, then turns and stomps back to his SUV. Rookie throws me a look that's almost sorry. I don't mess around. Downloaded all the camera angles, zipped them with timestamps, and sent everything to my lawyer, CC'd the district attorney's office. I wasn't ready to play offense, but I wanted a paper trail. That was just the opening salvo. 3 days later, the county DA's office emails my lawyer. Internal inquiry opened into alleged abuse of authority. Name on the file: Sheriff Gregory J. Welsh. They want my video, my affidavit. Done and done. By Monday, local news runs the story. County sheriff under investigation for private property confrontation. They use a blurry still from my gate camera. 2 days later, Greg's on administrative leave. The comment section lights up, half the county's cheering, half's crying conspiracy. You'd think that would be the end, but you don't know Karen. She shows up in person, no clipboard, just fury. Stands at my gate, hands clenched, looking like she wants to throw it. You smug bastard, she spits. You think this is a game? Taking down my husband, for what? Some land fantasy? You don't belong here. My land, my rules. Your husband trespassed. Everything I did was legal. She shakes. You humiliated us. You have no idea who you're dealing with. Actually, Karen, I do. That's why there are cameras in my birdhouses. That stung. She just simmers, says, "This isn't over," and storms off. No dramatics, just hate. Within a week, it all breaks open. Greg's arrested, trespassing under color of authority, attempted coercion, abuse of power. Charges stick because of my footage. Whole town goes quiet. Karen disappears, the HOA newsletter goes dark. But her silence didn't feel like surrender. More like the air sucking back before a thunderclap. Next sign? Black trash bags dumped just inside my fence, broken lights, soggy cardboard, garden gnome bits, and a Red Hills HOA envelope, stained and torn. A message, sure, but amateur hour. Then 2 nights later, I get home late. Someone smeared traitor in red paint across my gate, left a bundle of fake violation notices tied with a dead rose. Burned it all in my fire barrel. Sheriff's office shrugs it off. Probably teenagers. Right. Teenagers with HOA stationery. Then the mail comes, unmarked envelope, no return address. Inside, a photo, taken from the East Hill at night, long lens. My house, porch light on, my dog, my own shadow through the curtain. They'd hiked up, watched me, waited, took the shot. Alongside, a ransom-style note. We see everything. You aren't safe out here. You ever feel your skin go cold on the inside? Yeah. I checked my feeds, spotted a figure slinking through the brush, 2 a.m., camera 8. No face, but clear enough. Filed another report. This time they take it seriously. But Karen, she was changing her game. This wasn't about power anymore. This was about breaking me. Next few days, I barely slept. Pulled 2-hour shifts, installed more floodlights, set up extra sensors. Even pulled the old Remington from the cabinet, just in case. I wasn't scared, I was mad. You want to rattle me? You better do better than paint and poison pen letters. And then, like a twist out of nowhere, there's Madison. Shows up just before dusk, standing by my east gate, mid-30s, denim jacket, hair in a ponytail, hands trembling but determined. Are you Evan? She asks. Depends who's asking. I used to be on Karen's side, she admits, holding out a flash drive. Not anymore. I buzz her in, keep things calm, take her to the shed where I keep my secure laptop. The video she's brought, it's dynamite. HOA meeting, Karen pacing, voice clipped and low. Randall's a threat. He turned Greg into a villain. We make him touch us, stage something, get a decoy, build a narrative. Madison looks at me, voice shaking. They're planning to set you up. I'm done being afraid. I sent copies everywhere, to my lawyer, to a journalist, even to an anonymous watchdog. Next morning, sheriff's station calls. You've been named in a physical assault complaint, Mr. Randall. I show up with digital files, GPS logs, time-lapse video of me cleaning my water tanks at the time of the supposed assault. Brent, the so-called victim, never even set foot near my property. Karen had filed a fake, grainy video, laughably bad and easily debunked. Prosecutor drops it in hours, but the message is clear. She's done playing fair. That night, I sat on my porch, a whiskey in one hand, military maps in the other, marking threat zones and planning fallback positions. If they wanted a fight, fine, let's get it on. Didn't take long. At 3 a.m., glass shatters. Dog's dead silent. Wrong, that's always wrong. I move, heart pounding, gun in hand, no lights. Flicker of orange at the generator shed, fire, fueled by diesel. 2 figures running, fence broken, something heavy thrown at my garage. You're on camera and this is private land. I yell, gun raised. 10 seconds before I start shooting. They disappear into the trees. I put out the fire, save the backup, then check my passive IR cams. One guy's mask slips, another curses, and it's all on video. Preston Weller, HOA's discipline chair, with a tattoo on his hand. Other one, Randy Coulter, Karen's cousin, old meth dealer. Got 'em both. By sunrise, copies are everywhere. My lawyer, Sheriff the Cloud. New sheriff watches the video. We're moving. Weller and Coulter are picked up same day, truck full of tools and fuel. Karen? She's lawyered up, silent. I start making calls, not to the law, but to every neighbor who's ever griped about Karen. 13 of us by the week's end. Stories of illegal fines, forged notices, harassed into paying fees they never signed up for. Even a woman forced out for blue shutters. Turns out, Karen's HOA wasn't even legal. Paper tiger, all bluff, all bark. With my attorney, Susan, bulldog litigator and ex-Fed, we launch a class action. Unlawful enforcement, extortion, defamation, property damage, conspiracy to commit fraud. Evidence? Over 100 pages, videos, fake notices, minutes from Karen's secret meetings, and every second of the arson. Karen's team shows up at the first hearing all smiles, but the judge isn't buying it. When he watches Weller set my shed on fire, sees the emails planning to frame me, he freezes all HOA activity. Press goes wild. Veteran landowner takes down rogue HOA. National news, HOA abuse stories everywhere. Karen spins and spins, but every claim we hit back with more evidence. Then Madison drops the final bomb, a flash drive from her time as treasurer. HOA spent $20,000 on luxury weekends, spa trips, security, all billed as maintenance. Most of it from checks they bullied out of homeowners. That's enough for the DA. Karen's indicted, 8 felonies, including racketeering, conspiracy, accessory to arson. Arrested mid-PowerPoint at her own meeting. Oh, the irony. 6 months later, courtroom's packed. Karen walks in, face frozen with rage, cameras everywhere. The trial is brutal. 9 days, exhibit after exhibit, residents testifying, some in tears, others just angry. I testify too, show the jury how Karen's husband tried to break me, how her people burned my shed, how she faked a video to set me up. Defense keeps objecting, judge keeps shutting them down. On day 6, Weller cracks, testifies against her. Coulter folds next. Jury comes back in 4 hours. Guilty on 7 out of 8 charges. 17 years, no early release. Silence fills the room, a real, satisfying silence. I walk outside, cameras everywhere, but I keep walking. Didn't want headlines, just peace. HOA gets dissolved, assets frozen, all those silly fences come down. I rebuild my shed, triple my security, even start a little school. Teach folks how to fight HOA bullies, read a deed, stand up for their rights. Locals call me, the man who broke the HOA. Not the title I wanted, but I'll take it. And Karen? Last I heard, her new community has a council too, kind of an inmate-run HOA. Funny, right? Word is, she never attends. So tell me, when does defending what's yours cross the line? What would you do, faced with this kind of fight? Drop your stories, your thoughts, right here. Justice isn't neat, but sometimes you gotta make a little noise to get your peace.